And welcome to another speed build. Yes, this time finally with shaders. It's a wee bit saturated, but I like it. So, today, on today's episode, we have a museum. Yes, I'm going to show you a speed build for this wonderful museum. Ignore that was me trying some terrain stuff with World Edit and it didn't work. I found out World Edit doesn't even work with the speed build mod, so yeah. Let's get started. I actually might have to do something, which is change the recording speed, playing speed a tiny bit lower. It was on 10 before, as you can see. So, let's just start this thing. Okay, there I am. Now I'm just basically doing the layout. There is so many beds spawning in here, like it is crazy. That's me just doing a layout. I wanted something interesting. I looked up like the British Natural History Museum because that was my starting inspiration, but I basically did not stay attuned with that in the slightest. Yeah, I wanted a unique shape, so that's exactly what I was doing. I hope the speed won't make it go too quick. It might, but it should be fine. There I was trying something else, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to. There's also like an inspo wall that I made beforehand, like a block palette of how I wanted it to be. There's not gonna be any skeletons in there, or barely any, because the problem I had is they were entities from the mod that I was using, and they weren't getting saved. Maybe it was my options, maybe it's just not in the mod. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just put them in after this. I can make a quick cut and re-put them in, so I can probably give you a tour. I wanted to really texture this outside. I wanted it to look really nice. And yeah, the British Natural History Museum is kind of like a sandstone building. That's kind of what I was going for. I wanted it to look like that. But it kind of got off the rails a bit. I don't know, it looks a bit more tropical, Mediterranean. I don't even know what to call it, but I like it. Yeah, I really was going in on the texturing. As you can see, I'm going there by a few times to grab blocks. As you can see, this is kind of like the blueprint, I guess, the preset, the schablone for everything. I'm decided to go for some pillars here to make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, lots of leaves, you know it, the mangrove leaves, I love them. Got to have them. Also, I should be like louder this time, like I fixed my audio settings. And the way I talk into my mic, which is talking over your mic instead of straight into it, has solved a big problem of me sounding too toasted. Too much like a toaster. You know what I mean. The audio sounded way too crispy. And not a good way. Yeah, I'm just copying the other side here. I don't know, I had a weird thing for this building where I was like prioritizing this side a lot more than this side. If you're wondering what this mod is, basically, I built this whole thing and the mod basically captured me placing every one of these blocks. And when I replay it, and it deletes every block I placed, and then has my character come back to the life and do everything that I have done. Yes, this has 2 stories. Didn't want to make it crazy big. I thought this might be a bit small, but it turned out not to be, luckily. Because there are some crazy many skeletons, and I could have made it a bit bigger, but I'm quite happy with the size. You can see I will also add windows later to the entire thing, and yeah, I'm just doing that. I got pretty fast doing the walls after a while. Me like having to get used to the system of how I do the walls, like the barge and the stairs. Then I'm just doing the same weird thing on the other side. Listen to like a lot of rock music, I think, during this thing. I don't know, I was doing a lot of music listening. Later on I started switching to videos about snake phylogenetics, because yeah, that's the thing I'm into, biology. Which was pretty interesting, but I ended up not really paying attention to it because I was too focused with this build. It's also a tiny bit under-decorated because I ended up actually running out of time with this one. I spent like 3 hours on this build or something like that. Here, I was kind of worried about this wall and it looking good, but it ended up turning out pretty easy to make, actually, and yeah, so it was pretty easy. not really all too difficult to pull off. And yeah, I'm just placing some weird stairs back because I don't know, I think that just gives it such a nice layer of depth having those stairs. And you know, the fencing and stuff and the stairs for the wall, it just brings it out a bit more. And as you get to see, I will shave off the whole first layer because I realized, oh, there's supposed to be stairs there. Didn't end up going for any leaves on there because it didn't really fit. As you can see, should be stairs actually. Yep, that's where I'm changing them back to stairs. And same thing over on this side. Actually wonder something. Playing speed. Can I change this mid thingy? I have no idea if that worked. Yeah. Displacement. Some more that. Yeah, one thing I had trouble with is matching the second layer with the first layer, as you'll see in a bit. That was really tricky. Put windows everywhere. I ended up going for a light gray stained glass. This is my favorite type of glass. I don't know, that's the one I always seem to use. Just like it more than the regular glass. What's my character? Where am I? Where am I placing windows? Hello? Oh. Okay, I'm placing windows over here. One interesting thing about these windows with the shader, they kind of make the inside of the building look a bit dark. I don't know why that is, but it is. The top is gonna be a bit smaller. I mean, you just saw the whole building like in the preview. Yeah. Because again, depth, detail, stuff like that ended up not really being too difficult. Just figuring out how to do the walls was kind of the tricky part. As you can see over here, did end up being really happy with how everything turned out, but there was like a lot of going back and forth, trying to be like, do I want it like that? Do I want it like that? Yeah, this is still going a bit fast. I don't know, 6 is the value I had for the other build. I don't know if it saves for this, or if it's still going at recording speed 8. Yeah, just some more fences, windows. Yeah, it really quite some trouble with the symmetry. Like, here you have the fencing match up, but then this fence doesn't match up with this fence. Yeah, so I just ended up not really caring about it too much because it was kind of difficult to do. As you can see, I'm going back and forth here a lot. Just trying to figure out how to pull this off. So I really wanted to do a museum because with the mod pack I'm using, I have a lot of skeletons and I don't know, I just really felt like it. I love museums. I haven't been in a natural history museum for quite some time. Yeah, I just loved them, the vibe, the aesthetic. And I knew I had to go for it. Also, I really needed to build a museum for an upcoming project. That's probably not going to be released for a while because I managed to make it work at first. I thought it wouldn't work because of the way this mod works in certain ways, but then I found another mod that does the job. I won't really spoil it right now, but it's going to be pretty cool if I can pull it off. But that's going to be for some time. But I will be using this museum in it. Most likely, well, I'm not going to really have the energy to build another one for no reason. There's going to be more speed builds on the way, by the way. Pretty soon, probably next thing is going to be like a T-Rex enclosure. Maybe in the same world that I built the Velociraptor pen in. That would be quite nice. So yeah, after this wall, things kind of started going a lot easier for me making the top half. So yeah, I quite like the way the inside looks as well. Again, museums just have such a nice vibe with them, like specifically natural history museums. And I really like the British one. I've seen it in a documentary once as well, the classic one with like the diplodocus and stuff in the center. Yeah, this one has like a very particular vibe. I don't really know where to place this vibe-wise, but I just really like it. I actually wonder what this... I haven't seen this without shaders, but it will be interesting to look at as well. And yeah, just some more of the fencing. These are palm wood fences from the Jurassic Editions mod. And here I am basically, by the way, most fossils are going to be from the Prehistoric Fauna mod as well. And yeah, just placing some more of those. And this is going to be an entirely dinosaur-themed museum, by the way. Yeah, just placing some more windows, as you can see. I love gray stained glass. I don't know why. I basically never use normal glass. I either use white stained glass or like the gray stained glass. I might use white stained glass a bit more. Actually, I'm kind of surprised I didn't go for that. But this just works. It just kind of works. I definitely think the recording speed is a bit slower, which is good because I need a video that's like not 6 minutes long. Yeah. 3 hours worth of building, just like in a few minutes. Focus down. This was pretty easy to do as well. I am really happy with this shape. I really like it. I don't know, it's unique, it's interesting. And a lot easier to do than I thought it was going to be, which is really nice. But I didn't really have to have that much of a headache about it. What is actually difficult is making the inside of this place. That took some time to figure out just how to turn this empty space into like something coherent. I could have planned that out a bit better from the beginning, but hey, it's alright, it's alright. Yeah. I wanted to have this on top of here at first, but I realized that space is just not gonna cut it. I was like, I don't really need it on top of there anyways, at least not for a speed build, I don't. And again, the world edit doesn't work with the mod anyways. As do entities, so yeah, item frames, pictures, all that stuff doesn't work. That's an issue I had with the Velociraptor pen. We had item frames holding guns and ammo and stuff, and that obviously did not work out. Oh yeah, just making the top. Yeah, this is a really unique color combo, I think, but I like it. These are, by the way, ash bricks or ashen bricks from the Prehistoric Fauna mod. I try to keep the mod somewhat minimal. You could probably make this vanilla with like what's called deep slate blocks, dark stone, what called dark stone, I don't know, I forget. Like what the pigments use in the Nether, or basalt, something like that you could use. Maybe just like some regular stone blocks even. I just really like this. And yeah, I don't know, museum aesthetics. They're good. They're good, I like them. I just want to make a museum. Then just looking at it, figuring out how to do the roof, because how do you do a roof for something like this? It's kind of difficult, and I tried some stuff here, and I ended up going for the palm wood. Ended up being pretty easy, though, easier than I expected. This is a problem I have. My mouse keeps double, quintuple clicking even a lot of the time. So, most stairs I place ended up double placing, and I had to get rid of them, which was kind of really annoying. But hey, it ended up being somewhat okay at least. Yeah. So, more stairs. I don't know how much time I even spent on the inside. A lot of it was kind of annoying me trying to get the skeletons to face the right direction. And now they're not even here, but that will be fine. Yep. I like this roof. I don't know. It fits with the theme, but it stands out a little bit. And we do not want it to rain right now, unfortunately. Forgive me for my briefing. Yes. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, that's something that just happens quite a lot. As I like, it is ridiculous. I don't know why my mouse does this. Like, I don't have an auto clicker or anything. It's just really weird. This is like just some old Logitech mouse. Kind of looks like it. There's a Harpo on it. I don't know. I just found it laying in the house when my other mouse broke. Now I have to deal with this, which is really nice. Yeah. I quite like this shader, though. It really complements the building well, I feel like, with like the warm tone and aesthetic. Just works pretty well, and I decided to cut the roof off here because I don't know, I wanted to make this out of glass because I thought having like a big dinosaur under there and then the glass and stuff and looking up, and I don't know, I thought it would just look really, really nicely. And I think I ended up making the correct call on that assumption. So yeah, generally, back to the museum topic. It has really been a long time since I've been in a museum, but they are really so cool. I really want to go to a museum at some point soon again, just like the way there's like different areas, how like sometimes prehistoric environments are done and stuff. And just the theming in general, it is just really nice, and you don't get to look at dinosaur bones that many times. Ended up going for the light gray stained glass, and I think might be whites. Actually, that might, what kind of glass is that? Oh, it is light gray, okay. Looks kind of white because of the shader. I'm just finishing the roof with full blocks. This gives an interesting look right over here. End up finishing that and then having to figure out what to do for here, but I ended up figuring out a pretty nice pattern. I forget what look, but don't worry, I remember. Sometime later down the road, maybe just in a second. Oh, nope, it looks like we are almost starting with the inside again. Yeah, looks really nice. Again, the beds are such an annoying problem in this. Oh no, we're doing the flooring first. Ended up going for white terracotta. I don't know, I thought that was a sensible flooring to go for. It ended up being, I think, the right call. Okay, damn. I love this. Like, this looks really nice with the shader and stuff. The shader also works really well performance-wise, which is really, really nice. Maybe I should do the Velociraptor pen video again with that. Yeah, also kind of an inspiration was Lockwood Manor from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which is basically looks like a museum building. At least I think it does. This looks cool. Yeah, it's again sandstone building, lots of like fossils in there and stuff. Just a cool, just like an old vintagey aesthetic, I guess. And I'm not having any lights in here. For a while I ended up going with frog lights, which I am quite fond of, to be honest. Those flowers are going to end up getting really annoying for me. Yeah. Remember there's one museum I went to as a child. It was a really cool museum. They had like dinosaur animatronics there. That was really, really cool to see for me as a kid. I was actually scared that they're gonna have like real dinosaurs somehow. So I was like, what, how old was I? 6? Like the age I watched Jurassic Park for the first time, which might have not been the greatest idea, but I would say it was well worth it. Yeah, no, that's really positive memories. I think they had like an Argentinosaurus right at the beginning, which is like, you know, awesome. There's like, I think, new size estimates that might place them somewhere around 100 tons, which is absolutely insane for a land animal. Yeah, I am saying way too much. You're not supposed to say that in like eloquent talking. And finally, lights. Don't worry, I remember to fix that, I think. Yeah. Those give off a really nice aesthetic, and I ended up going for a dark oak, which I feel like, again, fits the museum aesthetic quite well. I want to have something similar like this in my Let's Play series, most likely. I just open up the top right here. I thought a staircase right in the beginning would be nice. I thought of having it split in two. Be a bit more eloquent, but I guess I don't really have like the height for that, so that's fine. I make a slime noise when you place them. I did not realize that. There's like a counter when you get in. Some doors, and first thing I did was like put a mulch thing in here because like loads of museums have that. And yeah, there's another naturalist museum I was in as a kid that had a really cool Allosaurus skeleton, which I really liked. But I don't know, when I think of dinosaur museums, I just think of England because of that natural history museum. I really like these leaves because they don't change them depending on the biome. These are also palm leaves from the Jurassic Editions mod. And speaking of the Jurassic Editions mod, plushies, yes. This ended up being so perfect for this, and look at all of these models. They look so good. I'm just changing up like the way they face a bit so it looks a bit more natural, I guess. I ended up placing RVs. Okay, those actually ended up fitting. This is why Mr. Gravy's furniture mod I tried not using it too much. Because again, I'm trying to stay light on the mod, so you can actually like maybe build this in vanilla if you would like to. Should be pretty easy to do. Yeah, that's me trying to kill some bats, but obviously these are different bats from the original bats that I was dealing with. And I need to make this a little bit quieter. And then a lot of museums have like these kinds of dioramas and stuff with the glass and stuff, grass and stuff. Then I'm trying to copy out, and that's me placing fossils. As you can see, it's not working. It's me breaking them and just trying to get them to face the correct way. And of course you can't see them, which is absolutely amazing. You will see some of the fossils over that I do place. My throat is itching. Why is that? From the unusual prehistory mod. I made a review on that mod and actually accidentally deleted it. But it wasn't that great of a video anyway, so whatevs. Yeah, really cool looking fossils, so I really like that type of stuff. Yeah, I associate England with like a lot of dinosaur stuff, and I don't know why, but I just do. I guess it makes sense because like the birthplace of dinosaurs. Not really the birthplace of dinosaurs, but that's where they were first discovered. I thought of doing something cool here like that, and it kind of works. But it's just too big, and also it's off-center with... It was off-center with the stairs, because it's technically a single block that sprouts out. This was a big thing that has a T-Rex and a Triceratops on that. Don't worry, I'll put that in a second, and I'll make an indent here. Because the T-Rex was facing through the roof. As you can see, it says Rex on it. I'm not sure if he called it because it's the T-Rex skeleton. I'll show you how the skeletons work in a second. But yeah, I'm just making a wall right here. Trying to separate off the different zones, I suppose. I am really liking this this style with like the dark oak wood. What is that? No, that's spruce wood, right? Yeah, that's spruce. Looks really nice, I think. And then I try to go for another zone, which is like a desert and ice zone with the Tyrannus, Protoceratops, and Velociraptor. For their respective zones. And here I ended up putting a pillar with some rather nice pictures. And again, I will have to put in a second again. Oh, you'll probably see me place that in. Just now, this is where I kind of realized that I'm not paying attention to any of the biology videos, so I switched to a Jurassic Park theory video instead. I hope my voice stays steady. I need to keep in mind I need to talk over the mic. But yes, this museum is definitely going to be used in a future project, but I'm really excited for it. It's going to take a lot of work and be pretty difficult to implement, but I think it's going to be well worth it if I manage it. Yeah, this is a massive ammonite. I've seen one of these in real life before. It is really, really cool. Yeah, that one museum that I was in with the dinosaur animatronics also had like a 4D cinema and some other cool stuff, like a thingy with a megalodon that like hits a glass screen and you're holding these bars and it shakes. I think that has a halo and a stegosaurus on it. I'm not sure if they even fit on there, to be honest. Yeah, and then just doing that. And now I'm here with the sand section and the snow section in a second. After, you know, I keep trying to place fossils that don't actually exist right now. You'll see them in a second. So yeah, some more leaves. How long is this speed build going on for? 24 minutes. I should have sped this up a bit more, actually. Is this video gonna be half an hour long for a freaking speed build? I better hope not. I better hope not. Okay, I need to like, playing speed. I need to ramp this up a bit more. Now I'm upstairs, I believe. Starting to build that out. That has a sauropod in it. And this is not really running out of time. And the problem is I can't make this recording into 2 parts because obviously if I like decorate this and then start the first recording, this is all going to be here. And one thing I could do is actually make the bottom half and the top half as separate recordings. It would be really cool. I don't know if that would work, but it might. Yeah, there's really not a lot of stuff going on. Just me fixing some windows. And yeah, this is pretty much me being done with all of this. Put some more stuff over here, just some skulls and that type of shebang. I kind of ran out of ideas up here, to be honest. Yep, some lights and this I really like, this top part thingy. And yep, that's it. So, time to decorate this place. Okay, after a bit of redecorating, things have been arranged. So, the layout is a little dumb. You have to go all the way back if you want to go up. So yeah, let's have a look at this. So first of all, you have some Triassic animals, some Hyraeosaurs, Postosuchus, and some Coelophysis. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. It doesn't really make sense. I'm not 100% happy. I would have had to do redo the entire interior wall to make it arguably a lot better. Which I didn't do, but hey, that's what we have for now. So an Allosaurus with its babies, so just Coelophysis, but you don't need to tell anyone. I moved the T-Rex and these are from the Jurassic editions, but by the way, T-Rex and Trax called down here because I thought it would look cool and they're having a battle and that looks awesome. The desert room is more deserty now and it's just desert now. I moved the Tyrannus upstairs. Yes, indeed I did. So you go all the way around here. And then you are greeted by this lovely old sauropod with a Tyrannus next to it. I tried to go with like somewhat of a Chinese theme, not really obviously, but kind of going in that direction a tiny bit, because it's like Chinese dinosaurs, I guess. Ceratosaurus right there. We'll look at that in a second. Yeah, just I kept that the same, and I put a Spinosaurus over here. I know there is more that could be done over here, but all in all, I'm relatively happy with this museum. So, that is it. That is the museum. I think it looks pretty good. Just the legs. That might be all of the skeletons being in there now. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video then, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.